Hello everyone. Today I want to show you how to make this offset plate. Now this offset plate goes with the traditional Chinese woodworking marking gauge that I had made in a previous video. Now I got the inspiration to make this offset plate while I was working on a traditional Chinese style bench. And this particular style is very common and is called 4-leg 8 blade, and that's translation. So the 4 legs here are splayed in this direction, the front legs are, and these legs are also splayed in this direction. So as you can figure it out by now, that means the mortise on the top and the mortise on the bottom are at two different positions. And while I was making this chair, the inspiration came to me that I should make an offset plate, because otherwise I would have to have a set of marking for the top, have a set of markings, and then reset the gauge, have a set of marking on the bottom, and then reset the gauge and mark the tenons on the legs. But with the offset plate, I can do all of that with a single setting on this marking gauge. So let me show you how to make this. Almost forgot. In the next video, I want to show you how to use the offset plate and this marking gauge to lay out this little bench here. After making several prototypes, I determined that the ideal place for the offset support rod is located about ½ an inch away from the second cutter and about ½ inch down from the top. And I drilled the hole while the piece is still square. I used a template to drill the holes for the scribers. I made the fence for the offset plate from a piece of 1/8 inch thick rosewood. So after I had cut out the marking gauge, I'm left with this half moon piece. Now I'm going to use this piece to make the backing or support for the offset plate fence. Hopefully you've noticed that the grain of the rosewood and the grain of this backing run perpendicular to each other. And this is not by accident. This perpendicular grain is going to help keep it from warping over time. Well, maybe not keep it from warping, but hopefully it will reduce the warping. I should have centered the marking gauge on the piece of beech that I'm using, because you'll see there is a pointy end left. And it's not a big deal, but it's just something that I probably should have thought about. I later glued a piece onto the pointy end so that it would match the other side. Since I had two of these, I decided to saw off half of the beech backing on one of them, just to see if it handles any differently. This piece I'm cutting out here strengthens the front of the fence, and it also provides a place to rest my thumb and also provide a place to support the offset support rod. And just like before, the grains of these two pieces are perpendicular. I'm using the body of the gauge as a guide to locate the support rod hole on the offset plate. As many of you already know, a 1/4 inch dowel rod is neither a 1/4 inch nor is it actually round, so I had to do some sizing to get it to slide smoothly in and out of the gauge. I then added a couple of cherry knobs onto the end of the support rod. The last thing to do is to locate the thumb rest. The body and the offset plate are joined together through the support rod, and I'm using my thumb as the template. So I'd say that looks like a pretty decent fit. To finish the project, I used a couple layers of linseed oil. Then I applied a beeswax outer coat, which involves heating up some beeswax, applying it onto the surface, and then buffing most of it away. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed the project, and see you next time.